Okay, James Gunn is saving DC Studios, and that is no exaggeration. I just watched his highly anticipated film Superman in theaters. Let's talk about it. I put out a video on my channel earlier this week about the Daily Beast breaking the review embargo for Superman and calling it quote-unquote terrible and saying it's the final nail in the grave for the superhero genre. I can safely say they're wrong. Like, plain and simple, they're just wrong. Superman is not terrible. It's by any means, it's not terrible. I'll be the first one to tell you that I had doubts about this film when I watched the trailers, saw the marketing. To me, it looked like a generic, kind of run-of-the-mill superhero film, and I'll admit, I was wrong. I really, really enjoyed Superman. First off, let's talk about David Cornsweet. He is, without a doubt in my mind, going to be a better Superman than Henry Cavill, and probably already is. He just is. Cavill's version of the character was more of like a dark, brooding version. Cornsweet is what you think of when someone says Superman. He is a wholesome alien guy from Krypton who loves humanity and everything about it and will do everything in his power to help it just a little bit. It is not cheesy or forced or anything like that. It is just the version of Superman that, frankly, we haven't seen in films since Christopher Reeve. Nicholas Hoult is also tremendous as Lex Luthor, to be honest. He brings like a newer take on the character that mixes both seriousness and humor, but he and Cornsweet just shine together. They have such good chemistry every time they're on screen, and thanks to the two of them, this rather simple storyline of like good versus evil, who will triumph, it brings this story to life. The last thing I'll say about the actors is Rachel Brosnahan is really, really good as Lois Lane, and her chemistry with Cornsweet is obvious on screen, and their chemistry brings the emotion and the relationship of Superman and Lois Lane to life in ways that carries a lot of emotional weight on screen, and it's just really fun to watch. All right, before we talk about more positives, let's talk about some of the negatives of this movie, because yes, they do exist. This is not in any way a perfect film. There were things that I personally disliked about it, so let's talk about that. By the way, this review is completely spoiler-free. So first off, one of the issues that I found with this film is that some of the storyline felt kind of over the top and tedious. And I don't think everything that was in the movie needed to be there, so some of the reveals and conflicts didn't carry a huge amount of emotional weight. And I think the movie probably dragged on for about 20 minutes too long. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes, so not a terribly long movie, but still probably could have been trimmed down to like the hour 40 mark, and it would have been absolutely perfect. But those are really my only main complaints, is that the storyline's a little overcomplicated and the movie does drag a little bit, but the entertainment value is still through the roof. The best parts of this movie for me were 100% the visuals and the score. The cinematography, the special effects, the action scenes, they were breathtaking, to be honest. And I was smiling in the middle of the theater just because it captured the wonder and the amazingness of Superman himself. And the score was very uplifting, very cinematic, and I thought it blended very, very well with action on screen. And my last positive, of course, it's got to be Krypto the Superdog. You can't leave him out. He is cute, he's funny. He's unlike anything we've seen in a Superman film up until this point, and any superhero film in general. He brought the feeling of lightheartedness to the movie, and it was just fun. That's the best way to describe the movie in general. It is just a movie that's a lot of fun. My final verdict on this movie, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It is a very, very entertaining superhero movie, a really promising start to James Gunn's DC universe. I'm really excited to see where he takes the franchise next. Definitely experience Superman in theaters. It is meant to be seen on the big screen, and take as many people with you as you can. Experience it with family, experience it with friends. It is such a fun time at the movies. That's all for this review, guys. If you enjoyed, please hit that like and subscribe for more movie content, and we'll see you soon.